Hey guys, today's video is going to be about a deep dive on the bidding from board 16 Sunday night's RBC speedball game. So a lot of cool stuff to talk about on this hand. Let's get right into it. I was sitting north, Audrey was sitting south for this hand, and I'm going to walk you through all the decisions and hopefully illustrate to you some of the bidding points that I'm talking about. So it went pass by West. That looks pretty normal. Audrey and I happen to be opening one no trump with 14 to 16, and that's what I chose to do with this hand. When you have 5-4-2-2 shape, and the 5-4 are both minors, to me, that's a hand that's begging to be open to no trump when you're in no trump range. And the main reason for that is that it paints a concise picture of your hand for partner, such that she can drive the partnership where they need to be. Maybe she needs to ask some questions like Stamen or potentially Blackwood or anything like that. But you have told your partner in one bid, hey, I have one of the balanced shapes and I have 15 points, give or take one. If you're playing 15 to 17 no trump, be 16 points, give or take one. But I want to contrast this with, so like when North opens no trump, notice that South has the assurance that North has 15 high card points, give or take one, and at least a doubleton in all the suits, and not going to have like one long suit or anything like that. South has very actionable information. Let's contrast it with two possible alternate auctions. So let's say that you hadn't expanded your horizons yet to treating this hand as if it's balanced. Okay, let's say that you chose to just open a club. Maybe you weren't thinking about the rebid problems. You just saw your longest suit and opened it. Watch what happens here. South's got an easy one spade bid, and one spade is forcing for one round here. So South is in no hurry to describe. I know that South's going to be excited, but there's no rush to describe how good this hand is. We can sort of just wait on a rebid from partner. So a couple of problems here, and I see all these problems come up all the time. So, from a frequency standpoint, it's hampering people's bidding, what I'm talking about here, and the mistakes that are being committed. You can't rebid one no trump at this point, because if you're playing a 14 to 16 no trump, partner's going to think that you have 13 to 15, and that would clearly be an undersell of your hand when you have 14 points and a good 5-card suit here. So we need to rule that out. The only other option that's left really is 2 clubs. We're going to rule out 2 diamonds because that would be a reverse, and we just don't have enough values for a reverse with this hand. So if we open a club, we're kind of backing ourselves into rebidding 2 clubs. And I want you to take a second and think about how much more we conveyed to partner if we just open a no trump than if we choose this particular auction that's up on the board right now. As South, what do you know about your partner's hand if he opens a club and rebids 2 clubs? Well, we know that he doesn't have 4 spades because he would have raised me. Depending on whether your partnership is comfortable on raising with 3 spades, we know that some of his hands that have 3 spades are out. We know that he doesn't have a really good hand because he didn't jump to 3 clubs. He didn't reverse, nothing like that. And we also know he doesn't have a balanced hand because he didn't either open a no trump or rebid a no trump. So all we're picturing as South here is a 1-suited hand with clubs with fewer than 4 spades and somewhere between 10 and 16 or 17 high card points. So that's a huge universe of hands, right? You've actually only described 5 of your 13 cards. You've described your 5 clubs, and your point range is still, 7 or 8 points wide. As opposed to, you could take one bid, open a no trump, partner knows within 1 point how many high cards you've got, and he also knows you've got a little bit of length in each of the suits, right? And that you've got a balanced hand pattern. There's much less mystery as to what type of hand you hold when you open a no trump. Okay, so I hope I've convinced you that if you open a club, you're kind of stuck with a 2-club rebid. And that should be an inferior description of this hand from a usefulness standpoint than just opening a no trump in the first place. The other possible auction we could have, which actually would be, I prefer this auction more than I prefer opening a club. The other possibility, is opening a diamond and rebidding 2 clubs. Sometimes you do this with 4 diamonds and 5 clubs. So let's say it went, a diamond, pass, 1 spade, pass, and now you come back with 2 clubs. So I like this auction better because at least you've talked about having 2 suits this time. And partner's probably going to think you have 5 diamonds and 4 clubs. Partner should allow for you potentially having an awkward hand that had 4 diamonds and 5 clubs and just needed to bid both suits without the strength for reversing, which is what you would back yourself into if you'd opened a club. So this one's better because we've at least described like 8 of our 13 cards here. And partner knows we've got a hand that resembles a 2-suiter. Like he knows we've got diamonds and clubs, not some huge hand, fewer than 4 spades. We didn't do anything interesting like jump shifting into 3 clubs. But again, like the types of hands we can have here, strength-wise, is pretty wide. It's, a minimum opener that opened because of shape up to not having enough to force to game opposite a 1 spade bid. So I hope all this stuff helps convince you that you will solve a lot of life's problems by opening these hand types with a no trump. All right. And like, we can go down this path for a second. South like has this huge hand, but doesn't have any assurance that North has like any spades, right? So South can bid. I mean, I would bid 4th suit forcing here. I would have the agreement that when it goes, 1 diamond, 1 spade, 2 clubs, when there's 3 suits on the table and responder bids the 4th suit, that's artificial and game forcing. And, maybe at this point, what does North do? I wouldn't feel comfortable rebidding 2 no trump because I don't have a stopper in the 4th suit. And it so happens that South does, but I don't have a stopper. I'm not going to want to do that. I'm probably going to end up rebidding 3 clubs is the best description of my hand. And, it's back to South here, and South has solved the problem of forcing the game, but he doesn't have some really important information in that, A, North has promised at least 2 spades, and we have a 9-card fit there, and B, North has more than his fair share of high card points, like 14 to 16 here. Okay, and those would be really good pieces of information to have on this hand that we could have had 2 rounds ago if we just solved all these problems by opening a no trump. Okay. Anyway, let's go back to the path where we just open this hand with a no trump. I think the fastest way to do it here is just to, reload this hand. So we will export, upload deal to table, and we will open the North hand with a 14 to 16 no trump. Audrey sat South. She has a problem here in that she wants to set spades as trump. Remember, on this auction, she's got the assurance that we've got at least 9 spades between the 2 hands. And she knows she's got like at least a slam invitational hand, right? She's got 18 points. It's all in controls. It's all in quick tricks. We have at least a 9-card spade fit. She's sitting opposite 14 to 16. Like to me, this is just a slam committal hand. Unless like for some reason, somebody stepped down and showed you that partner somehow had a 14 to 16 no trump without the ace or king of diamonds. Like you just can't talk me out of stopping shy of slam with this South responding hand. So the 2 problems she has, the 2 things she needs to do are set spades as trump and then ask about key cards. Okay. And if you're not planning your auctions out in advance, probably what you would do is bid 2 hearts here, right? You'd bid 2 hearts, transfer to spades, partner would bid 2 spades. And now like maybe you bid 4 no trump. The problem with this auction is that it's quantitative. 4-no trump can be passed. What South has said on this auction is, I have 5 spades, and I also have a balanced invite. Okay, this is very similar to an auction that goes a no trump, 4-no trump quantitative, except that responder has bothered to say, I have spades on the way. Okay, North could definitely pass 4-no trump here, and in fact would, okay, because he's at the bottom of his range. Like he's got 14 and the range is 14 to 16, and he's only got 2 spades. Okay, so if this were the auction and I were North, I would definitely pass. Oops, right? And we play 4-no trump when we're just ice cold for a grand slam. That's not good. So what we do instead is we have this convention called Texas. And Audrey's going to bid 4 hearts on the first round as a transfer to 4 spades. Normally, the type of hand that Audrey will have here is a hand that just wants to sign off in 4 spades. Very often, she's just got a lot of shape and not many high card points and just wants to get us to 4 spades as quickly as possible. And she's not super sure if she's bidding it to make or bidding it as a sacrifice. But whatever it is, she doesn't have slam interest when the auction takes this route. Normally, what's just going to happen from here on out is pass, pass. Let's contrast it with one other auction. Let's go back to Audrey's first bid here. What if she transferred to spades and then bid 4 spades? That's an idea. What's the difference between this auction and the auction where she just transfers immediately to 4 spades? And all this assumes that you're playing the Texas convention, which I definitely recommend. If we were playing Texas, we have these sorts of negative inferences available. So if we're playing Texas and the auction takes this form, she transfers at the 2 level and then bids 4 spades. She wants to play 4 spades, and she definitely has at least 6 trumps. But if we go slow, that's the hand that's got like a mild slam invite. And what you're saying here is, partner, I want to play 4 spades. And if you've got a magic type hand, a hand with extra trumps, a hand with aces, a hand with extra tricks that I don't know about, like the king, queen, jack, 5th of clubs is a good source of tricks, as we're going to see in a minute. It's a mild slam invite, and those are the aspects of your hand that I would be considering moving on with. And if I heard this auction as North, I'd be like, okay, I like the fact that I got the queen of trump. I like the fact that I've got the ace of diamonds. I like this king, queen, jack, 5th of clubs as sources of tricks. Things I don't like include that I've only got 2 trumps and that I have 14 points instead of 16. So all in all, I don't feel like I have enough to move towards slam. And we would, miss a lay down grand slam again. So what Audrey chose to do, and I think, the right thing to do here, is to bid 4 hearts immediately. We're going to alert that as showing spades. I just type exclamation point and then lowercase s. I dutifully bid 4 spades. And most of the time, that's just the end of the auction, but not today because she has a huge hand. She can bid Blackwood. Okay, and when we go through Texas and then bid 4-no, that's Blackwood. When we don't go through Texas and then bid 4-no, that's quantitative. So that's how you sort that problem out as well. And in a sense, she's violating a principle of 1430 Blackwood here, in that she doesn't have the diamonds controlled. However, here we have so many points that it's almost literally impossible that we're off the ace king of diamonds. Okay, I've got 14 to 16 as her partner. She's looking at 18. The frequency where we're off the ace king of diamonds here is just minuscule. And furthermore, if we are off the ace king of diamonds, sometimes we're going to get away with this just because, if I don't have the ace or the king of diamonds, what I am definitely going to have is like the king, queen of clubs or the queen, jack, 4th of hearts, something that will throw her diamond losers away if they don't lead diamonds. And it's, not always going to be easy for them to necessarily find the right suit to lead. So here it's okay that she uses Blackwood 1430. even though technically the diamond suit is unaccounted for. And I realize that in most circumstances, we don't bid 1430 until we've got all the side suits. Like we know that they're all controlled. Okay. So it goes past. I have one key card. And when I bid 5 clubs, I'm just going to alert it as one key card. Like technically it could be 4 also, but what in the world hand would she be asking with if I only had one key card? So I think it's fairly safe to assume that when I bid 5 clubs here, playing 1430, that I have 1. And this is good news for the south hand, right? We now know that partner's got the ace of diamonds, and we're counting a lot of tricks at this point. This is when you would start your trick counting process. And I'd already be at like ace king of hearts, both minor suit aces are 4. I don't know that partner's got the queen of spades yet, so I don't know if that spade suit's solid. But, you know, barring a catastrophe, I'm definitely up to 10 tricks here. And I haven't given partner any cards other than the ace of diamonds at this point. So she continues with 5 diamonds, which is, do you have the queen of spades? Anytime you bid 4 no trump 1430 and partner comes back with something below the trump suit and you still got room, the next step asks about the trump queen. That's a card she's very interested in here because it will make sure that our trump suit is solid, right? If I have queen doubleton and she has ace king 10 7th, the only way that our trump suit would not be solid is if the north hand has specifically queen X and the jack 4th is behind the ace king 10 7th. That's almost never going to happen. So we are, even though literally it's possible that the trump suit isn't solid, if we know that partner's got at least 2 spades, including the queen, we're willing to count 7 tricks on this suit. So 5 diamonds, the next step after the response, and notice this is kind of like a relay structure that we've talked about in previous videos. The specific thing I'm asking about here is, do you have the spade queen? North does. We're going to use our zoom principle, which is when we can answer affirmatively as to partner's question, we will anticipate the next question and answer it as well. Okay? And here, so if I didn't have the spade queen, I would just go back to the trump suit, right? But I don't want to do that because I do have the spade queen. What I'm going to do instead is bid a side king that I have. Okay, so this weird looking bid says, I have the spade queen and I have the club king. I've zoomed to bidding 6 clubs to show you both the spade queen and the club king. Kind of neat, huh? All right, I already bid that. And at this point, so the spade queen, yes, and club king, yes, should be on this bid, not this bid, obviously. At this point, partner says, okay, he's got the spade queen, the ace of diamonds. I'm pretty much, you know, we're bidding 6 for sure. But what I want to let him know is that we have all the keys. Like that would be something that would be worth saying. Here we can't do that because we're already past 5 no trump. So Audrey took an educated guess and said, like, okay, I can count 7 spades, and that's giving partner 2 points, the queen of spades. I can count 2 hearts, we're up to 9, and still partner's only got credit for 2 points. I can count the ace king of clubs, right? Because partner just showed the king of clubs. That's 11 tricks for us. And I've given partner queen of spades, king of clubs, that's only 5 points. And I can count a trick in diamonds. And that gives him queen of spades, king of clubs, ace of diamonds. Notice that's only 9 points, right? And he's promised 14 to 16. And we're already up to 7 spades, 2 hearts, 2 clubs, 1 diamond. That's 12. She figured, look, there's almost got to be an extra trick here. I've accounted for 9 of partners 14 to 16. If he's got the queen of hearts or the queen of clubs or the king of diamonds or a doubleton heart such that I can ruff a heart in the shorthand, any of those options would leave us with 13 tricks. She just bid 7 spades. And looking at the score comparison here, this would have been enough for a top, but I took this one step further. Sitting north now, I knew that Audrey knew that our trump suit was solid. Otherwise, she wouldn't have bid 7 spades. I knew that she wasn't concerned that I might only have a doubleton spade, right? She didn't ask how many spades that I had. She just knows that I have at least 2 of them for having a balanced hand. Therefore, her spade suit has to be at least ace king sixth. That's the dead minimum spade suit that she's got. She has to have the ace of hearts. Okay, there's no hand where she could not have the ace of hearts here. She has to have the ace of clubs. Remember, I just showed 1 key card. These are cards that she's got to have to be able to bid 7 spades. Okay? So I know she's got at least ace king sixth of spades, at least the ace of hearts, at least the ace of clubs. Look at my hand. I can count 6 spade tricks. I can count the ace of hearts for 7. I can count 4 club tricks for sure, and probably 5 because probably the suit is running. And I've got the ace of diamonds for 13. The other good thing about bidding 7 no trump here, which is ultimately what I did, is that there's no risk of them getting a ruff on the opening lead for one thing. The other thing is, if the trump suit behaved poorly, like let's say that it was on an unlucky day and the jack fourth of spades was in the west hand, it's just barely possible that we might have 13 tricks and no trump without the spade suit. So I reasoned there's no reason to think that 7 spades is any better than 7 no trump. I can project that partner has the ace of hearts, the ace of clubs, at least the ace king sixth of spades. If she has the king of diamonds or the king of hearts or a 7th or 8th spade, like all of these things are things that would produce a 13th trick. And by the way, like it's very unlikely that we're scoring any extra tricks in spades as opposed to no trump. I bid 7 no trump, and that was the end of the auction. So hope you guys got some good pointers here on why we're opening no trump as often as possible. It really solves some problems down the road on how to use Texas and what the difference between using Texas immediately versus going through Jacoby and raising to 4 is, what the difference between using Texas and then 4 no trump, that's Blackwood, as opposed to using Jacoby and then 4 no trump, that's quantitative, what that difference is. And then once we get to these, to the 1430 bids, we're using our zoom concept, which is sometimes when we answer a question, we can answer the next question. That's what my 6 club bid was. And then just using logic to place some of the cards, count the tricks, reason out, like on this hand, hey, I've got king, queen, jack, 5th of clubs, along with partners, the ace that I can see in partner's hand. That's a source of tricks that she doesn't know about. And 7 no trump rates to be a better contract. And by the way, a higher scoring contract than 7 spades here. So anyway, that's the deep dive on 16 from Sunday night. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Next video I'm going to do is on some relay bidding from Tuesday night's hand, because there were 3 really good examples of relay bidding. Just as a teaser, those hands were hands 1, 9, and 20. If you played on Tuesday night and want to take a look at those, that's what I'm going to be covering next video. Anyway, guys, this ended up being a little longer than I hoped, which is almost always the case, but I hope this video finds you well and you got something good and useful out of this, and I will see you very soon. Hope you guys have a great Wednesday afternoon, and we'll talk later.